Tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing the conversation we had on our last live stream on African Diaspora News Channel, where we talked about a young lady by the name of Zora Stevens, and she denounced being a Delta. Now, that's a Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And if you can go to that particular live stream on the African Diaspora News Channel, you could, see why she denounced. But it's been a current trend of black women denouncing these sororities, these Greek organizations. And I've said a long time ago, why are black people talking about they're Greek? You're not Greek. You are black American. It should be called a black organization, not a Greek. Anyway, a lot of people are starting to not only renounce and denounce, but they're also explaining a lot of things that's linked to the occult in a lot of this stuff. Let's go ahead and check out this clip from what these two sisters said, why they had to get out the sorority.
And I got home, I listened to the podcast in its entirety, and she starts breaking down how it's a Greek organization, so it's really attached. Every organization has a Greek god attached to it. So while I thought I was taking a kneel and making a pledge to an organization, I actually took an oath to another god.
Yeah.
Wait. I did not know that every organization had a Greek god.
It's a Greek organization.
Right. And so the Greek letters, does that point to the god? Does that represent that? How do you know which god each Greek?
We all have one.
Yeah. So every so the Greek alphabet is just the Greek alphabet, right? But every organization has a deity or a god that is assigned to it. For Delta, it's Minerva. Yeah.
Wow. And they taught y'all that.
Not only do they teach you, you recognize her in the process. All right. There are some things you do looking up to Minerva.
Right.
First of all,
wow. You're starting to see more and more of these kind of videos pop up, on the internet. And some people are asking, why? Why are they coming out and doing this? Why they got to publicly, if they just so upset about it, they don't like it, or it's not what they thought it was, why can't they just quietly go away? Why are they talking about it so much? And as I said in the live stream, that reaction right there got me interested in the topic. You see, if y'all wouldn't have been reacting that way, I wouldn't have had no interest in the topic. It's okay, they walk away from it, they walk away. But it made me look more and more into it. And really, this mess about getting on your knees, the same thing that Zora said, getting on your knees and before an altar and pledging allegiance, what Zora said that you can't be freed from, like, bruh, that's like selling your soul. What do you mean you can't be freed from it? What? I mean, okay, you join an organization, you pay your dues, whatever, fine. But I'm not getting on my knees before no man. Oh, no. The only person I'm going to bend my knee to is the Lord. And that's the only one that you should be bending your knee to. The devil wants to always get you to bow down to him. He's nothing but a creation that's doomed anyway, right? But you see these people in these sororities and these fraternities, a lot of times they're attached to the Democrat Party. Let's go to politics once again. They're attached to the Democrats. And if you notice, the majority of people that the Democrats have around them, they have to be attached to some fraternity or sorority. Look at your girl, Kamala, Ski Wien, right? She's attached. Most Congressional Black Caucus is attached. We call them the Boule, right? And how do the Boule look at us regular black people? They don't mess with us. They don't fool with us. This is why the Boule can never advocate for reparations. They can't do it because in order to be tied in with them folks like that, you can't advocate for reparations. You can't advocate for an anti-black hate crime bill. That's why I have said many times the Boule is the enemy of black America. They are not our friend. They are not our so-called brothers and sisters when they that tied in. Now, some people join because they thinking, oh, it's just for brotherhood, sisterhood. It's for community building. Well, you know what? You should have that in the greater black community. Why do you have to separate yourself in some organization talking about brotherhood when you should be having brotherhood with your brother right down the street, or sister in your city, in your community? You talking about community service. You can't do community service. People can't get together and do community service in the community. Why you got to separate yourself into a group that you got to pay dues to? If you want to do community service, you don't have to pay dues for that. Just go ahead and do it. It's free. They separate you in these groups. They have you do these rituals, right? Rituals. No. And this is that year that things are being exposed. We living in the age of knowledge anyway. This new generation and things that's coming after them, they're going to expose this stuff. And I'm a firm believer of destroying all norms. I believe you got to turn norms on its head and create something new, because we see that the Boule has always been used to keep down black people. You understand, the Boule was against Malcolm X. The Boule was against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Black Panthers. They was even against King. They was against them because the Boule wants to see at master's table. The Boule is no different than Stephen on the plantation. Remember, Stephen had a good position on the plantation. Stephen was even in charge of black people. Stephen lived in the house of the master. Stephen ate the same food the master ate. Stephen was even in charge of making sure certain slaves were punished. That's the Boule. That's them in this country. Stephen never looked out for the brothers and sisters in the field. He hated them. Look at all these guys that's in the Boule: Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, all of them attached, Boule. Every last one of them are attached, folks. And do you ever hear them advocating for black people in the way we need to be advocated for? No. They are sold out to the Democrat Party, period. As I said in that live stream, we can't just point out Boule Martin and always talk about him being in Boule, because no, he's one of many. He's one of many, and he's not the only one. And we got to call these people out and say, hey, because I'm at with it now, I don't even want to vote for you if I know you are attached to that. Because, hold on, you attached to the occult to me. So, nah, I'm cool. Give me a brother or sister that's from the grassroots. I don't want no brother and sister that's attached to that stuff, that's bowing their knee to Greek gods and doing rituals. I'm cool. We have to get like that. We have to, brothers and sisters, say we're going to advocate for somebody to do things in the community. They need to come from the grassroots, who's only attached to the community, not attached to no sorority, not attached to no fraternity, not attached to them folks, not attached to Democrat, not attached to Republican, attached to the black community only. We got to get that way in our voting, because a lot of us saying we need to bring in some younger people. What's the point of bringing in younger people if they're attached to the Boule? Then you're just going to get a younger Boule member. That's all. When we don't want to trade an older Boule member for a younger Boule member. No, we don't want to do that either. If you're attached to that, I'm definitely, any person I vote for, I'm going to look at what you're attached to. And especially in the black community. And if you're attached, I'm not voting for you. I don't care. I'm not doing it. It's just that simple. If you want my vote and you was in it, you better renounce it. You better get out of it. I'm that serious, because no, Boule, no. If that's the case, you might well go put in the folks then. To at least with them, you know what you're getting. With these people here, they looking to sell us out. Remember, Stephen hated black people a lot more than the master did. Now, in the end, that's really what it is. They don't like us. They don't like the grassroots. They can't stand our behind. You know why I'm going to tell you they don't like us? I'm going to give you one telltale example. If they were truly about brotherhood or sisterhood, how is it that people on the grassroots, when they have all these connections to politicians and money and all of that, notice they don't reach out to their brothers and sisters, right? They never say, hey, let me make sure they're taken care of. Let me make sure I can help my brothers and sisters that's on the up and up, that's coming up. Let me help them because I believe in brotherhood and sisterhood, right? No, they don't want to do that. If you're not attached to the Boule, they don't want to talk to you in certain instances. And that's fine. They don't have to. That's fine. All thing I'm saying is when it comes to definitely politics, we just don't vote for you. That's all. We got to start checking everybody's paperwork before we vote, ladies and gentlemen. Check their paperwork. And I know some people are going to say, well, what about if it's a white politician, they in a fraternity or sorority? I'm not talking about white people and what they do. I'm talking about my people. And that's a lot of y'all problem. Every time we talk about our people and what we're doing, you're bringing up white people. Stop bringing up white people every time we're dealing with issues in our community. Because that tells me one thing. You know I'm right what I'm saying, but you're trying to scapegoat to white people. I don't care what white people do. I don't care what their fraternity is and what their sorority is. I don't care. I'm talking about what we're doing in our community. What fraternities and sororities has done in this community. It has not brought anything good for the greater good of the black community. All it did was create some token positions. Think about it. Most of these people who's up there are tokens. Do you know your girl Ketanji Brown Jackson was made an honorary Delta? See, that's what I'm talking about. They make sure they attach them to some sort of sorority or fraternity. All in the politics, professions. Y'all got to do research and look into these people, man. Look into it. And they never do nothing for black people specifically. Your vice president, Kamala Harris, and she what, AKA? And what did she say, Miss AKA? I'm not going to, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry about that, y'all.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Now, Miss AKA herself say she's not going to sit there and say, well, she not going to do nothing for black people. But that's Miss Ski Wee, though. That's what she is. She's an AKA, a so-called, talking about sisterhood, right? But you're going to sit up here and say you're not only going to do something for black people. No. See what I'm talking about? They're all about getting positions and being tokens in the system of white supremacy and not caring less about the rest of their sisters in the black community. Where's the sisterhood at? Where is it? 'Cause that's not helping the fellow sisters in the community, Miss AKA Kamala. So why should we be voting for these people when we know they're attached to these sororities and fraternities, when they proven themselves to be no earthly good for the black community? All they care about is tokenized positions in the Democrat Party and using black Americans to do it. That's why I've told y'all many times the Boule is the enemy of black America. Listen to your uncle sometime. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about in some instances, right? They are not doing nothing for black people. When we support people, they need to come from the grassroots and the grassroots only. And the only attachment they need to have is to the black community. That's it.